Good day, my plant foldies. Today we'll be converting plants to semi-hydroponics. This is a relaxing plant chore series that I will be providing on the channel. As always, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at GrowFolds. I will be taking you on a journey today on how to convert plants to semi-hydro substrate called Leca. Step one is to obviously take the plant that you want to convert into semi-hydro substrate like Leca by taking and removing the soil of the plant. So I will be showing you several of these Aglaonema that I ended up buying at a local nursery called Callaway's. This is out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There are several locations there. And for those that are new to the channel, my name is Richie and I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. I typically do big box store plant shopping videos, but I'm trying something a little bit different for the New Year's, and that's to show you some more of my personal plants that I have in my plant collection. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this installment. I won't be doing nearly as much talking as I typically do for my big box store. The intent is to really just show and tell what I do as far as converting my plants. So you already know I went ahead and got some of these Aglaonema. This is the Aglaonema Green Army, and you can see that there are 3 Aglaonema in this 4-inch planter. I only got this plant for $9.99, so it's a really good price. So what you want to do is carefully remove the soil from the pots and then definitely set these plants to the side. You can see that the roots are super healthy. What I'm going to do next is obviously once I remove the soil from the roots, I will go ahead and wash these roots thoroughly and then go to the next process. But as you can see here, I'm taking my time and being super careful about the plants. Now, for those that don't know what semi-hydroponics is, it's basically a combination of a substrate. You can use Leca, which are clay balls, or you can use lechuza pond. Those are very popular semi-hydro substrates. And what I'm going to do is actually put them in that substrate and then also put them in a self-watering planter. Now, some people will actually just put the plant in a jar with the Leca balls in there, but I like to have a self-watering planter with a net pot, so that way if I need to flush or clean the substrate, I would be able to just remove it instead of having to drain the actual jar. So that's what I'm going to do. And you can see right over here, this is an Aglaonema. I'm not sure what the plant ID is, but you can see that the roots are super root bound, and so I'm going to go ahead and separate that. I will show you several of these plants, so let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you have any questions, and hopefully you find this video relaxing. I am doing more plant chore videos, so if you like this kind of content, please make sure you are not only hitting the like button for this video, but also commenting, sharing, and also subscribing to the channel with all the notification bell on. You can see that I am trying to shake out as much of the soil as much as possible, because whenever you put this in a semi-hydro substrate, you don't really want to have a lot of soil in the semi-hydro substrate like Leca, because that could open up for root rot. You want to make sure that the roots is clean and sterile as possible. So let's go ahead and continue this process. I have a couple of plants that I will be converting today. And again, plant foldies, it's very important to be careful when you're removing the soil substrate from the plant. So I'm just being very meticulous about taking all of the little crevices and getting rid of all of the soil. You can see that Aglaonema typically have 1 or 2 plants in the planter. So that's another way if you want to like separate the plant and get 2 plants for the price of 1. Now I'm depending on what I want to do, whether I want to go ahead and convert these into 1 plant planter, or if I want to get 2 plants out of it, I'll decide later on. But as you can see right here, I am just cleaning as I go, and I will reuse this soil and planter at some point again. But you can see that this is the Aglaonema stripes, beautiful plant. And Aglaonema, even though they are drought tolerant, low light tolerant, converting plants to semi-hydroponics makes the care and watering a lot easier, even more simple. And that's what I really need, especially with the new year. You know, 2025 is all about going back to the basics. And you can see this is another gorgeous Aglaonema. Not sure what the plant ID is, but it's got that beautiful coloration as well. So we're going to continue to clean off the roots and get rid of the soil. And the next plant we're going to convert is this Monstera Thai Constellation that I bought while going big box store plant shopping at Walmart. Walmart has been doing a lot of plant restocks, and I ended up getting this one for a really good price. This was for $29.97 in a 5-inch planter by Growers Bench. Again, if you haven't made it to Walmart, definitely check out Walmart. They have a bunch of variegated plants, a bunch of rare and uncommon philodendrons hitting the market, and I would just suggest going there if you want to get a Monstera Thai Constellation. So this is my first time actually converting a Monstera Thai Constellation into semi-hydro, and you can clearly see that the roots are super root bound to the point where I'm a little bit afraid of how I'm going to actually get the roots out. I may end up having to water this or use some type of hose to really clean out the roots. I don't want to do too much damage to the roots, but sometimes whenever a plant is over just root bound, you're going to take some casualties. You're going to have to break up some of the roots, which means you're going to have to either pull them apart, cut them up to make some space. So I'm going to try this, but I don't think that the roots are going to come out as easily as the Aglaonema I've shown you earlier. So it's going to be a little bit of a tedious process, which at this point, I think I'm just going to go ahead and wash off the roots and clean them up. So I'm going to skip that process because it's going to take a little bit more time. But clearly, I am just trying to separate and loosen up the soil. So the second step to converting plants to semi-hydroponic substrates is once you get rid of the soil, initial soil, you're going to have to do a little bit more detailed cleaning in making sure that the roots have as little to no soil substrate as much as possible. Now, I'm starting out with the most challenging one of all of the plants that I'm going to be converting today because I've had to cut back some of the roots, and hopefully that doesn't shock the Monstera Thai Constellation too much since it did did have to take some of the roots out, but I've been able to get the majority of the soil off. There is still a couple of soil stuck to the roots. I don't think I'll be able to get all of the soil off of it, but the most important thing is to try to get as close to as little soil as possible, and just to really monitor the plant. Obviously, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the details and care of semi-hydro, but this is just me using my sink. And honestly, if North Dallas wasn't going to have some really cold weather, I would use a hose outside. I wouldn't really recommend cleaning your plants in a sink, because you don't really want to clog up your sink. Luckily, I have a really good garbage disposal, but as you can see right here, I will be just rinsing out all of the other plants that I have. I'll go ahead and make sure that every single plant has been rinsed, and then the next step would be to disinfect and spray the plants with preventative pest control. I'm going to use a DIY neem oil spray that I call my Foldy Mist. I will also go into the details on how to create that solution, but you can see right here, I will take all of the Aglaonema and just wash these thoroughly. So enjoy the relaxing water sounds. I do hope that you enjoy the ASMR throughout this video. That is actually the original content that I had on this plant channel. A lot of it has really pivoted obviously to plant shopping videos. I am now trying to evolve and get you a little bit more personalized plant content, and eventually I will show you my house plant tour. But for now, hopefully you guys like this new content of me showing you how to convert your house plants into semi-hydro substrates, how to make your plant care even more simple and easy, and how to just make plants to where you don't have to water them nearly as often, because once you move these plants into semi-hydro substrates like Lechuza Pond, and today I will be using Leca, you just have a water reservoir that you would just fill up maybe once every 2 weeks, once a month, depending on the water levels you have in your water reservoir. But you can see right here, I'm just going to take a little bit more time on cleaning the soil by making sure I am rinsing off as much of the soil off of the roots as possible. You can see that these roots are very healthy. I mean, they're nice, white, and thick. I love Aglaonema roots, and Aglaonema plants in general are easy to convert in semi-hydro as well. Now, plant folies, it can be a tedious process when cleaning off the roots, but again, it is imperative that your roots are as clean as possible, making sure that you are getting rid of as much of the soil as possible. It's really going to make sure that the conversion from soil to semi-hydro substrate like Leca, it will just make it a more easy transition. You'll have a higher success rate with the roots actually acclimating to the Leca or Lechuza pond, whichever one you choose. Today I'll be using Leca because I feel like Leca is a little bit more cost effective than Lechuza pond, and honestly I haven't been able to source out Lechuza pond. That would be my primary choice if I was going to use semi-hydro, but Leca really works, especially for plants like Aglaonema or even the Monstera Thai constellation, because they have thicker roots versus fine root plants like Alocasia that do better with the actual Lechuza pond. But the next step would be this next one right here, and that would be to thoroughly spray all of the roots, the undersides of the leaves, the tops of the leaves, in between the nodes, the stems of the plant, with a neem oil spray, or some people can use insecticidal soap. I prefer to use neem oil spray, and I'm actually using a We the Wild bottle. That's actually neem oil that you can buy from wethewild.com, but I'm just using the bottle. I ended up making a DIY neem oil spray that I use on all my plants whenever I buy plants, either at a big box store, when I've gone plant shopping, or just shopping in general for plants. It's just a good way to make sure that there are no plant pests lingering on the leaves or even on the stems and even the roots. It's really important because once you get a plant into semi-hydro like Lechuza pond or Leca, for instance, you won't really be able to use systemic granules to prevent plant pests. And for me, I like to just go with more of caution. Even though I've already washed the roots out, I am going to go ahead and spray this plant with some neem oil spray. So what I do is I actually make a formula using a standard spray bottle. What I do is I use 2 tablespoons of cold pressed neem oil that I can buy from Amazon, the organic form. I'd use 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol, either 70% strength or 90% strength. You can get 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide, 1 drop of liquid dish soap. Put that all into a spray bottle, and then fill up the spray bottle all the way to the top with just water. Shake, 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 and you have an instant disinfecting spray that will kill any of the plant pests and will actually prevent the plant pests from lingering on the leaves. I spray my plants often with the neem oil spray just because I felt like it actually has been very effective in my plant collection. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm just taking each plant and spraying them down, spraying the roots, the undersides of the leaves again, and the tops of the leaves. And I will let this solution sit there for a good 5 minutes just to make sure that all of the potential pests like thrifts, spider mites, mealybugs are eradicated. And then I will go back and rinse the roots. I may leave some of the neem oil solution on the tops of the leaves as well, because it does give it a natural, beautiful leaf shine as well. Once the neem oil spray or insecticidal soap has settled into the plants for about 5 minutes, this step 4 would be just to wash off the solution off of the roots. Sometimes I will just leave the neem oil spray on the actual leaves because then it would prevent any like spider mites or any pests from really living in that neem oil. It is a nice and organic way to prevent plant pests. And right now I'm just going to take the time to at least wash the neem oil from the roots. And the reason why I want to do that is I don't really want the neem oil, the rubbing alcohol, the dish soap to sit in the semi-hydro substrate like Leca, because it may end up damaging the roots. I mean, it's not that harmful, but at the same time I would rather sterilize the roots, because again, the health of the plant really depends on the roots. You know, as far as my import plant videos that I've done in terms of like the unboxing videos, say from Green Spaces ID, this is the same process in converting plants, but you can see that I had to take that extra step to remove all of the soil from the roots. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting on whether I just go ahead and wash off all of the neem oil or leave it on the leaves. It's really up to you, but it is imperative that you wash the roots. Again, you know, the biggest point in terms of just converting plants to semi-hydroponics is having some viable roots and making sure your roots are as clean as possible, because if you have soil sitting there or a lot of soil, it can potentially rot the roots. But if there's just a little bit, I wouldn't say it would really damage the plant, but on a to be a little bit more cautious, to really increase the potential of the plant to convert into semi-hydroponics, you really want to make sure that the roots are clean. And I know that I've repeated myself multiple times in the video, but that is a very crucial step to it. And one thing I will say is, even if you convert the plants and follow every step, sometimes some plants may not acclimate to semi-hydroponics, and you may have some failures, but for the most part, I've had really good successes. I've only had a couple of plants not make the conversion. Once they do get converted into their new substrate, it just makes plant care a lot easier. And as far as pests, you won't really have a lot of fungus gnats, because fungus gnats need to live on like moist soil versus like the Leca, where they won't really be able to bury their eggs. So correct me if I'm wrong. If you are more versed in the semi-hydroponic substrate conversion, please leave your insights in the comments. And if you're enjoying this type of content, again, please make sure you are hitting and pressing the thumbs up or like button. Leave some comments for me. And if you want to continue to grow this channel, you can also share my video to anybody else that might want to learn how to convert plants to semi-hydroponic substrate. So right now, again, plant foldies, I am just cleaning the roots and making sure that I wash off all the neem oil. Step 5 would be to make the nutrient water solution that I'm going to use to put in the water reservoir for the semi-hydroponics. What you want to do is get a gallon container like this. I'm just using a purified gallon of water. I'm going to put a little bit of water, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a tiny bit of Super Thrive. Super Thrive is B vitamins that helps with plant revival. It de-stresses the plant and really gives it that vigor. And then once you put that Super Thrive, I'll go ahead and put a little bit of water again and put another type of solution. So this is We the Wild Grow Concentrate. This is another organic, very mild fertilizer. It's actually a combination of, I believe, earthworm castings and some other nutrients for it. So I'm just going to use 1/4 tablespoon of this solution. This will not burn the roots, but I'm going to go ahead and put that into the water again, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse the tablespoon and then put another layer of water. What you don't want to do is mix all of your solution all at once without having the water diluted first. So that's a really important part of the mixture. And you know, a lot of people have asked me questions about what I use for my nutrient solution. So now I'm using the Super Tribe Protect solution. I bought this from Amazon, and what this is actually a silica solution, which makes the roots more durable. It makes the plant a lot stronger. It makes it more drought tolerant, heat tolerant, and it actually helps with root rot prevention. So I'm just going to use a half a tablespoon of that, and then mix that into the solution again. And if you notice, every time I put a solution or some kind of chemical in there, I'm going to go ahead and dilute it with some water. You don't want to mix a bunch of these chemicals all at once because you'll get a different type of reaction. You want to dilute it. And then this is the Bush Doctor Fox Farms Boomerang fertilizer. So this is one that I bought from a grocery store called HEB, but you can actually buy this from Amazon as well, the Fox fertilizer. And I'm going to put just a very fourth of amount of tablespoon there, just a trace amount of this for the solution. And what I like to use this for is it's supposed to be meant for plants revival. So if you have a struggling plant, you can use that solution. But obviously, if you've noticed, plant foldies, I've used a very small amount on each of the doses. It's actually asking for 1 tablespoon per gallon of water, but you can see that I'm just micro dosing it. I always say with fertilizers, less is more. And then I'm actually using this Fox Farm fertilizer as well. This is another grow concentrate, and this will actually help the plant establish. This is just a very tiny amount. You can see it's probably a fourth of a tablespoon. And then obviously I will go ahead and mix that into the solution as well. And that's basically what I'm putting in my nutrient solution. Let me know in the comments if you have other nutrient solutions, but this has worked well for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this up, fill the whole gallon of jug of water, shake it really good so all of the solution is diluted into it. And then I'm going to use it to water the Leca, and then also to put it in the water reservoir, but I'm going to still dilute that nutrient solution even further, and you'll see on the next steps. Step 6 to converting your plants into semi-hydroponic substrate like Leca is actually potting up the plant in the Leca substrate. So I bought this Leca from IKEA. It is only for $9.99 this whole bag. So what I'm going to do is actually get a scoop of this and get to potting up my plants. So all of the plants have been cleaned out. The roots are nice and sterile. And I'm going to go ahead and take my catch pot. I'm going to put the little self-watering wick here, and it's important that you have a self-watering wick, or at least I feel like it's critical. And then you're going to go ahead and put just maybe a small layer at the bottom of the Leca, and then I'm going to pull the wick further up the string so that way it's not sitting at the very base of the plant. You want it to be kind of further in the middle of the self-watering planter so it can actually draw up that water and the nutrients up to the plant. And you can see right here, this is the Aglaonema that has no ID. I'm not 100% sure what it is. And I'm going to pot it up further down into the pot. And then I'm just going to take the Leca right there and then just make sure that I continue to just evenly distribute it around the catch pot. And I'll try to like tap at it, make sure to shake it so that way there are no big air pockets. It also gets rid of some of the debris and dust of the Leca, because the next step, which would be step 7, is to actually rinse the Leca. Some people don't do that, but I just feel like it's just a neater way of doing it. I try to work neatly whenever I'm doing these plant chores. This has been very relaxing for me, and like I've shared with all my viewers and subscribers, my plant foldies, I did have a little bit of plant burnout. And so a lot of it had to do with me having to stay on top of the watering for my plants. So now that I've really discovered and found success in growing my plants in semi-hydroponic substrates like Leca, it has made things so easy. It's made things simple. It's made me want to buy more plants. But even if I buy more plants, the care is a lot easier because I consider myself an underwaterer with a very busy schedule. I would just say converting your plants into semi-hydro substrates, it's going to make your life easier. And you can see right here, I'm going to keep repeating the steps. If you have any questions or comments throughout this video, again, please feel free to leave in the comment section your questions, but I'm just going to repeat the same process of making sure I have a wick string pulled up to the middle and then putting a small bottom layer of the leca and then planting the aglaonema further down into the pot, because aglaonema, if you want them to be a little bit more, more full and less leggy, you want to go ahead and plant them further down versus just planting them right at the base of the plant. It gives you a little bit more leeway. And with this aglaonema green army, there are 3 planted. I could separate them into 3 different planters, but I'm going to go ahead and keep all 3 of them in the same planter just because I want a more full plant. And whenever you're separating plants, you create more plants, and I already have more than 100 houseplants in my plant collection. I finally got them organized, and to me, sometimes unnecessary plant propagation is not necessary. That's where we end up getting ourselves overwhelmed. And the purpose of this tutorial is to really introduce everybody that might be interested in trying semi-hydroponic substrates, like using Leca and just using the steps that I've put. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert on it, but this has really worked out for me in the last couple of months. But you can see right here, I am just tapping the sides of the catch pot, making sure that all of the air pockets are taken care of. And I will continue to do that for the rest of the plants. plant foldies, you'll notice that I separated the 2 Aglaonema that I potted up previously, as well as this Aglaonema stripes. I went ahead and took both of the plants and separated them to where I'm going to put them in 2 separate self-watering planters. I just feel like these plants are going to be easy to either gift. I may end up giving it to some plant friends or just adding it to my plant collection. I don't mind having multiple plants. And again, plant foldies, if you are enjoying this type of content, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video. I definitely want to see if you have any questions about the conversion of semi-hydro substrates. I do recommend using self-watering planters. I ended up getting a 14 pack from Amazon for a really good price. And you can see right here, whenever you're planting plants in semi-hydro like Leca, you want to plant the plant further down, especially if it's an Aglaonema. If you notice the placement, I have the wick string right underneath the roots, so it can definitely pull that water from the water reservoir into the plant, and it'll just keep it moist and keep it hydrated. And that's the whole purpose of self-watering planters as well as semi-hydro, is it prevents you from having to water the plant as often. What'll happen is the roots will become semi-hydro, so it's not really going to be full-blown water roots, but the roots will also not just be soil roots, if that makes any sense. It just kind of is in the middle, and it just simplifies the plant care. I'm already using easy care plants. Like, you can keep Aglaonema in a soil substrate, but for me, putting these plants in semi-hydroponics also makes plant pests a little bit less prevalent. For some reason, it just makes the plant care easier, and to me, it's got a cleaner look about it. Let me know in the comment section if you agree, if you've actually used Leca, what your thoughts are. You already know, plant foldies, I love the engagement on the channel, and I will be doing more how to do tutorials with my plant content alongside with my big box store plant shopping videos. I mean, all of these plants were either sourced out from Walmart or a local nursery. And then you can see right here, I am potting up one more philodendron. This is a philodendron black cardinal. I actually bought this philodendron from PlantCon 2024 in Dallas. It was actually bought from Green Spaces ID, which is a Indonesian plant nursery that ships internationally. I just wanted an easy, beautiful, dark foliage philodendron. This has been sitting in water for about 2 months, and I forgot about it, but now I want to go ahead and pot it up as well and put it in semi-hydro substrate. So let me know in the comments if you've ever bought or imported plants from overseas. If you want to buy from greenspaces.id, that is the website, you can use my promo code GrowFolds20 for 20% off your entire purchase. Follow them on Instagram as well, Greenspaces ID. And if you need me to connect you with them, I can put you on a group chat to where we can set up an order for you. I really do trust Greenspaces ID. I actually have another international haul coming very soon, another plant haul, but hopefully you've enjoyed this process so far. This is my haul of plants, and then the last step, or at least the final step to converting your plants to semi-hydro substrates, is to actually rinse and water the plants and then get them into a water reservoir. So we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to start off with this Monstera Thai constellation. I didn't show how I potted this up just because it was pretty big, but let's just say that I'm using a 8.5-inch clear pot, and I went ahead and just took these plants back into the sink. And what you want to do is really rinse out the Leca or lechuza pond, whichever one you're choosing to use. Today I'm using Leca, and making sure that you're rinsing it, and then I will go use a diluted form of the nutrient water to just water it one time, and then I will put water in the reservoir, and then you're done with the conversion. So I wanted to let you know that I'm only filling up the watering can with half of the nutrient solution, and then I'm going to dilute it even further with just regular water. Again, less is more. You just want trace amounts of the nutrient solution. And then once I get that little mixture set up to where it's diluted, I'm just going to go back and water the Leca one more time. And then I'm going to get it set up to where the water reservoir is going to be set. I usually fill up the water reservoir about halfway or close to halfway, just depending on the plant. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Some people say do not fill up the water reservoir, but I just found that it's better to go ahead and get that water reservoir going, so that way the self-watering planter can start absorbing that nutrients as well as just the water to keep the plant alive. There is that substrate where it's going to have to convert the roots into more of like semi-hydro versus water versus soil, if that makes sense. So you can see right here, I'm going to go ahead and use this IKEA planter, and I got it on clearance. I ended up getting this 8-inch planter, 8.5-inch planter for just $8. So I am going to go ahead and fill it up with nutrient solution, and then I'm going to go ahead and dilute it. I'm going to fill this planter up about halfway, or just right underneath halfway, and then I'm going to go ahead and place my Monstera Thai constellation that I ended up buying at Walmart. Again, if you haven't already seen my big box store plant shopping videos, Walmart has a bunch of new houseplants for 2025 and Monstera Thai constellations for only $29.97. Definitely check that out. But this is my first time converting a Monstera Thai constellation in semi-hydro, and you can see that that is the first conversion, and we're going to go ahead and repeat the process on all of my other plants. Right here, again, I'm just going to water and rinse out all of the Leca just to make sure it's nice and clean, and then I'm going to go ahead and water it with my nutrient solution that is actually diluted even further. So I fill up my watering can halfway with the nutrient solution that I pre-mix, put just regular water, and then water it again. Repeat those steps multiple times, and I will show you how to get the self-watering reservoir set up, and then we're going to go to the final steps of this conversion. I'm going to go ahead and take this 5-inch self-watering planter. So this is the reservoir. I'm going to go ahead and fill up the reservoir where the line shows with the nutrient solution. And then I'm going to go ahead and dilute the nutrient solution even further and fill it up with just regular water. And I'm going to fill up the reservoir about halfway. I might just put a little bit of nutrient solution since it's already super diluted, just a trace amount. And then I'm just going to stick the wick there, and voila, I've got a converted plant in a self-watering planter, semi-hydroponic. That is my philodendron black cardinal. So it's really easy, and I really want to continue to do these plant chores. I also want to show you guys how I manicure my plants, how I clean the leaves, how I maintain the plants. And, you know, there's this new sense of inspiration I have as far as making more plant content. You already know I try my very best to do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, but I think I'm going to go ahead and pivot to a more personalized content. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see more of these types of videos, or do you want me to just continue to make plant shopping videos? I mean, I love shopping, but I also love showing my knowledge for the plants. So this has been fun, just showing you how to convert plants into a semi-hydro substrate to where it's going to make your plant care a lot easier. It's going to be simple, and you're going to find more joy because the simplicity simplicity of the care when it comes to semi-hydro, you'll have more time to actually enjoy your plants versus feeling like you're spending an entire day watering your plants. And to me, that's what really has made plant care and has really rejuvenated my interest in plants, because I was starting to experience plant burnout. And if you haven't watched the plant podcast that I'm part of, it's called Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast on YouTube with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. Definitely check that out, because we did talk about solutions on how to get out of plant burnout. I do believe every single person that has collected plants or has grown plants, whether it's outdoor plants or indoor tropical plants, has experienced plant burnout. Feel free to share your plant burnout solutions in the comment section. I always ask anybody that watches my videos to comment, because I love the engagement, I love the interaction, and I just love sharing this community with the plant foldies. So let me continue to just show you this process of rinsing the leca and then getting these plants into their nutrient solution. You can see that I love using catch pots like this. You can purchase these on Amazon. If you're not following me on Instagram at GrowFolds, please do. If you have any questions, that is the fastest way to get in touch with me directly, or leave comments if you have any questions about this process so far. And the final step to converting your plants to semi-hydroponic substrate is once you've watered your plants and gotten them into their self-watering planter with the water reservoir and the nutrient solution, I use We the Wild plant Protect solution. So We the Wild Protect Neem Oil Solution. You can buy this at wethewild.com. I love this because it does have a neem oil solution into it, but it also has neat leaf shine, and it's just a really good solution to put on any of your plants. So like even if you're not doing conversion on your semi-hydro substrates, I use this We the Wild Neem Oil Spray. It is a little bit more costly as compared to using my DIY folding mist. I use this to really curate and manicure my plants. You know, there is a level of care that you want to put into your plants. So like for me, this is something that I haven't really shared on the YouTube channel, is I like my plants to look super clean, super shiny, and I love using We the Wild Neem Oil Spray. It's called Protect. You can actually buy this solution at a big box store called Target. If you go to Target, they actually have the full kit where you have the microfiber gloves. You can see I have some microfiber gloves, and what you do is you'll spray the solution on the stems of the leaves, the tops of the leaves, and the bottoms of the leaves, and you can just gently rub and massage the plant leaves to where it's going to be shiny. You're going to get rid of any potential plant pests, and that layer of neem oil will also protect it from any potential plant pests like thrifts, fungus gnat eggs, as well as spider mites. I like spraying We the Wild Protect Neem Oil Spray. So it is my go-to, and this is what I'm going to do. And then I'll give you my final thoughts on converting plants to semi-hydro substrates. Super relaxing for me. I love doing plant chores, and honestly, you will be seeing a lot more plant chores, relaxing videos where I'm a little bit more chatty, or actually I'm less chatty as compared to some of my big box store plant shopping videos. Again, let me know if you like this new type of content as well, because I will definitely be sharing this for the new year. 2025 is super exciting, and I am going to pivot to more of a personalized plant YouTube channel versus just doing plant shopping videos. Plant Foldies, this is the final product of taking plants that were in soil substrates from a big box store or a local nursery and turning them into semi-hydroponic substrate with Leca. Look at the sleeves on my Monstera Thai constellation that I bought from Walmart for $29.97. And then as I pan around here, I have an Aglaonema stripes. Now, as far as the care tips, whenever you're putting a plant in semi-hydro substrates, I would say now that they're in their self-watering planter with a water reservoir, I would keep the water reservoir at least 50% full or maybe down to 30%. And then you can either refill it with new nutrient water or you can go ahead and just add some more water in general. Again, as far as like nutrient solution, you already saw how I actually made that solution. It's super easy. And what I would do with these plants is if you're able to put them under a grow light or bright indirect light, that way you're giving the plant the most optimal care for it to really establish. Because again, when you think about it, these plants were put under a little bit of shock, you know, taking them from a soil substrate and then washing them off, putting them in a new substrate, a semi-hydro substrate. So there is going to be some decline in their health. I mean, the plants look perfect, or at least I believe they look great, especially taking that extra time to put neem oil spray, using Weed the Wild Protect neem oil spray, and using microfiber gloves to really rub that in and get the leaf shine in there. I mean, Plant Foldies, let me know in the comments, but this is what I was talking about in terms of curating your plants, making sure that you're taking that extra step to really make your plants look the very best that you can. I'm really proud of this process, and I've actually had a lot of fun showing you the step-by-step process on simplifying your houseplant care by making your plants into semi-hydro substrates like Leca. And you can see right here, this is my Monstera Thai constellation. If you do see some leaves start to fall off or decline in health, that's just the plant acclimating to its new environment. It will bounce back, so have no fear. And sometimes some plants may not take that conversion and may actually fail, but for the most part, I've had some really good success. And once the plant has really acclimated to its semi-hydro substrate, it's going to make your plant care easy, because then all you have to do is refill the substrate or the water reservoir with more water, with more nutrient solution. Now, I'm not an expert in terms of like fertilizers or nutrient solution you can put with your plants. I have just used that I showed you earlier, but for the most part, I have just had a lot of fun converting my plants into semi-hydro. I think for the new year, as I continue to do more plant content, I will start showing you more of my plant collection. So if you like this plant haul today from my plant shopping videos, let me know in the comment section what you thought. And as always, please make sure you are hitting the thumbs up button or the like button for this video. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And if you know somebody who wants to convert their plants to semi-hydro substrate, share it and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you on the next. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be converting plants to semi-hydroponics with the substrate called Leca. As always, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest way to get in touch with me directly. You can send me a direct message, comment on my posts, and see some of my posts throughout the day. You can see right over here, Plant Foldies. I am just looking at one of my favorite types of plants to grow, and these are Aglaonema that you could find at Peta's Planters, a small plant shop out in Dallas, Texas. Definitely check it out, but I will show you what to do in terms of growing your plants in semi-hydroponics using some of the plants that I bought from Peta's Planters and several other places. So this is going to be a relaxing plant chores video. It's going to be different from my normal shopping videos, my big box or plant shopping videos, but needless to say, it is going to be a how-to tutorial for those that are interested in growing their plants, making their plant care a lot simpler, because whenever you convert a plant to semi-hydroponics, it makes makes it just so easy for you to maintain your plants. For me, growing plants in semi-hydroponics just makes the watering portion of plant care a lot easier, because you are just really relying on filling up a water reservoir with obviously plant nutrients. So we're going to see what that process looks like. I hope you enjoy a lot of the ASMR relaxing sounds as I go through my conversion of these particular plants into semi-hydroponics. So definitely watch till the very end to see some of the plants I converted, some of the Aglaonema I converted to semi-hydroponics. If you have any questions about some of the plants that I've converted, or just plants for that you could use for semi-hydro, please leave that in the comment section. I am trying to diversify my plant content to some more of the relaxing plant chores that you guys have given me some ideas on. I know that I posted a video of how to convert plants to semi-hydroponics, but here we go. But before we do that, I did want to show you where I go to buy my semi-hydro substrate, Leca. So I go to the IKEA out in Frisco, Texas. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome to the channel. My name is Richie. I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. I love going to IKEA not only for the planters and plants, but to get these Leca. It's only for $9.99. It's a little bit more of a cheaper alternative than using Lechuza Pond, which is the primary substrate that you could use for semi-hydroponics. But you know, I always grab a bag or two. I'm also thinking about growing something in this beautiful glass vase. We'll see what that looks like. But the first part I wanted to talk about as well is the fact that I am part of a plant podcast show called The Cultivation Corner. We will be launching season 2 on February 18th at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So definitely check that out. But you can see right here, this is an Aglaonema lochai that I bought from Walmart. I've shown this video before, but I wanted to go ahead and include this so that way you can have a continuous how-to conversion for any plants that you want to convert into semi-hydro. You can see that I am kind of struggling to take this plant out of its self-watering planter. This is a Costa Farms trending tropical plant that I got for $19.84. And the first step to converting any plant into semi-hydro is to gently remove the plant from the soil substrate. You want to make sure that you're not breaking any of the roots. And if you do, that is normal, because sometimes the roots are just a little bit sensitive. But in terms of converting plants to semi-hydro, sometimes it's a lot easier for to remove the soil from the roots whenever the pot or the soil is completely dry. I have done the mistake of actually watering a planter, watering the soil before I actually try to remove the soil from the roots. It's just a lot easier to pull the roots out when the soil substrate is dry. And you can see that I've gotten 2 Aglaonema lochais from here. And, you know, some people will either put both of these back in a 6-inch planter, but what I want to do is actually get 2 plants. That's one way to propagate Aglaonema is through separation, but you'll see that I will get 2 plants for the price of 1, which is another way of saving money on just your houseplants in general. So that's all you have to do is just remove the soil. That is the first part of it, and then I will move on to the next part in just a second. And as I remove the soil from this Aglaonema Lady Valentine, I could feel that there are two offshoots that I will most likely chop off and propagate. So I will get 3 plants for the price of 1. Now this Aglaonema was bought at Target for only $15. So I was super excited about that. The second step whenever you're converting anything to semi-hydro, at least for me, would be to disinfect the plant by spraying neem oil spray. Some people can use insecticidal soap. I make a DIY neem oil spray called the Plant Foldy Mist, which consists of 2 tablespoons of cold pressed neem oil that I buy from Amazon, the organic version. I put 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol, 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide. I also use 1 drop of dishwashing soap, fill it up with water in a spray bottle, shake, 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 and you have that. And then the third step is to clean the roots and remove the neem oil spray. So I'll let the neem oil spray for sit on the plant for about 5 minutes. I spray the tops of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, and obviously the roots, but I will leave most of that spray on the leaves just to add an extra level of protection, because it's not going to be harmful to the plant. But as far as the roots, I really want to clean the roots out, make sure that I am spraying it down and trying to get rid of as much of the soil from the roots, just because if you have some soil or quite a bit of soil whenever you put it into a semi-hydro substrate, it could potentially cause root rot, because there could be just potential root rot from that. So you really want to try to get it as sterile as possible. Obviously, that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes it's just really challenging to get rid of the soil, but that would be the third step. So just cleaning the roots out with water. And then the fourth step would be to actually pot up the plant after you've cleaned the roots with the substrate. So I am actually using 5-inch self-watering planters that I purchased from Amazon. You can see that I have the wick string ready to go. So what I'll do is I will take some of the Leca, and then I will just pull the wick string up to the middle of the pot, and then put just a tiny layer of Leca, and then I will place the plant that I'm going to go ahead and pot up. In this case, I will be potting up the Aglaonema, so definitely watch how I do that. What I will do with the Aglaonema is set it pretty much close to the base of the self-watering planter, right underneath the string, the wick string, to pull up the moisture. And I like to plant Aglaonema as further down as possible, just because if the plant starts to actually get a little bit leggy, you have some room to where it's further into the pot. I will slowly put down the Leca here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap around, shake it around to make sure that I get rid of any of the air pockets. And once the plant is secured, that's pretty much it. You will also get rid of some of the debris if you just shake it and also tap around the self-watering catch pot right here. You can see that I'm tapping that there, and that's basically it. Super easy to do. What's important is I like to put semi-hydro substrate Leca into a catch pot like this, because then I could pull this pot out from the water reservoir versus just putting it in a jar where you can't really rinse out the Leca. I want to be able to flush the Leca in case the nutrients or any buildup happens. It makes it just easier to manage. But that's just how you pot it up. Again, for me, I am getting 2 plants for the price of 1 because I was able to separate these plants, and that's basically it. Now, plant foldies, if you have any comments or questions, please leave that in the comment section for sure. I respond to everybody. And if you made it this far into the video already, please make sure you are not forgetting to press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And if you like more plant chores or seeing more of my personal plants, please leave that in the comment section as well, because I will do more of these relaxing plant chore videos where you can just listen to some of that relaxing ASMR from this. So throughout this video, after I've actually explained the process of converting the plants, the rest of the video will just be silent, and you will just hear some of the relaxing potting sounds and the water sounds. Some people are really into ASMR. I know that this plant channel was actually originally an origami ASMR channel. So just sit back, relax, and if you have any questions or commentary, please fill up the comment section. And if you know somebody that would benefit from learning how to convert plants to semi-hydroponics using Leca or Lechuza Pond, please share this video as well. We are getting close to 12,000 plant foldy subscribers, and I am super excited about that. I did want to just shout out all of the plant foldies that always go on the live premiere chats. Typically, I will premiere a live video at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time daily. I look forward to chatting with you guys in the chat section. If you are catching this video during a live premiere chat, please say hello. We love chatting with new plant foldies, and it's just a fun time. And if you do feel like you want to support this channel through a monetary tip, there is an option where you can send a super sticker or super thanks, which is basically a way of sending a monetary tip to me or any plant content creators or just YouTube creators. It definitely helps fund some of my supplies, some of my gas money that I spend just traveling from different types of stores, big box stores, and just the supplies in general. So feel free to send a super sticker if you like. Obviously, you are not obligated to do so. If you are on the live premiere chats, I will add what you call a chat goal, which is a series of super stickers. And if we're able to accomplish that goal, I will create a specific exclusive video if we are able to do that. But anyways, going back to the potting up conversion of semi-hydro, you can see that it's super simple. And I will tell you, as somebody who doesn't have a lot of time to water my plants, and especially for the big plant collection I have, converting plants to semi-hydro really makes your plant care so much more simpler. It makes things easier, and to me, that is what you want to add to your plant routine, is just simplifying things, making things to where you're not spending an entire day watering plants. Now, the 5th step to converting semi-hydroponics is to actually rinse the Leca. Now, some people will skip this and just go to the water reservoir, but I would actually like to rinse the Leca. Now, I'm using my sink, but I honestly would not recommend using your sink to rinse your Leca or Lechuza Pond because of some of the dirt deposits. You want to not actually have that build up on your sink, and that would actually cause more long-term problems to your sink. But for me, since it's extremely it's extremely cold right now in Dallas, I didn't really want to actually be out there rinsing out my Leca, so I'm taking a little bit of a shortcut. The good thing about it is I actually have a really good garbage disposal, so as soon as I'm done rinsing, I'm gonna run it to where it's not gonna just have that buildup. But that's basically it, just rinsing out the Leca. Now, once I'm done actually rinsing out the leca, what I'm going to do now is actually use a diluted version of my nutrient water solution, which I actually showed in a previous video. So if you're curious on how I mix that up, refer to my previous video where I show you how to convert plants to semi-hydroponics. So basically step 6 would be to water with nutrient water. That way you can get all of the leca soaked with some of that nutrient water. Obviously, it has more of a diluted form where I filled up my watering can with half of the nutrient water that's already diluted as well, but I went ahead and filled it up with more water to dilute it. And then that's basically it. It's just watering the leca, the substrate with that, and then the next step would fall into me actually filling up the water reservoir. Now, some people will say whenever you're converting plants to semi-hydroponic to not fill up the water reservoir and to just water the plant every 2 to 3 days until it soaks up and then fill up the water reservoir after about a week. I went ahead and just skipped that step, and you'll see that in just a second. But I also like to spray more neem oil spray on the plant just because I want to make sure that all of any potential plant pests are mitigated, because you can't really use systemic granules in your substrate whenever you convert it to semi-hydroponic. So I like to just spray my plants. I like to take that extra caution. And then you can see right here, I am using self-watering planters that I purchased from Amazon. Again, this is the 5-inch. So fill up the nutrient solution about halfway through the water reservoir, and you'll see that there is a little bit of a clear meter. And then I fill it up with half water, just regular water, so that way it further dilutes the nutrient solution. Now, why it's important to utilize nutrient solution is because plants need that nutrients. So whenever you're using like soil substrates, there's already a lot of nutrients in there. You're easily able to fertilize it versus just using semi-hydroponics. Some people will also call it passive hydroponics, where they are literally taking that nutrients from the water using the wick or the wick string that you put in your your self-watering planter. But like I said, again, I am just filling it up halfway through. I'm already filling up the water reservoir. With Aglaonema, they tend to do well even in leca. Some people love to use Lechuzapon. I prefer Lechuzapon, but for a cost-effective semi-hydroponic substrate, I like to use leca, and that's basically it. And you can see the final step for me is to clean the leaves. So I really love using Weed the Wild neem oil spray called Protect. That is a US brand that's organic. It has a really nice smell. And what I do is I'll spray the plant down with it and then use microfiber gloves, and I rub the leaves and just really rub in that neem oil into the plant. Not only does it make the plant look beautiful and gives that extra curated care for the plant because it gives it a nice leaf shine, it also gets rid of any potential plant pests. And on top of that, it makes not only the leaves shiny, but the leaves are also protected from potential plant pests like spider mites, mealybugs, or thrift. So it's really important for me to spray down my plants with that. So that's basically it. Once you've done that, then you're basically set for the plant. And then I would say whenever you're just pretty much converting your plants to semi-hydroponics and they're potted up, you've cleaned the leaves, you made them look really pretty. I like to set the plants in a bright indirect lighting situation or to grow them under a grow light. Now, if you're going to spray neem oil spray, you don't want to just put this plant directly under a grow light. Otherwise, it may end up burning the foliage. I would just leave it about a day or two where you're just kind of putting them in a more shaded area where it does get some filtered bright indirect light. Once that it has acclimated to at least a day or two, then you can start putting them under a grow light or somewhere where they can get a little bit more light. But that's basically it. I love cleaning the leaves of my plants, and in a future video I might just spend time of me just walking around my house plants and actually cleaning the leaves. But you can see this is the first conversion of many plants that I'm going to convert in this video. This is the Aglaonema lochai. You can see that it's got some beautiful like almost a very faint peach vein with the white stems. I love white stem aglaonema, and you can see that this is how you pot up and convert plants from a soil substrate to semi-hydro. It just makes your plant care so much easier because basically you just have to fill the water reservoir when it starts to go low. So the plant is basically watering it itself. And to me, growing plants in semi-hydro also prevents a lot of plant pests. For some reason, I see less plant pests whenever I am growing them in semi-hydro. I know that I've talked to some people who grow plants in semi-hydro and they can also say the same, but let me know in the comments section if you would have just put these plants together or if you would have separated it like me. And then you can see right here, this is another aglaonema that I'm going to create. I've already removed the soil from the plant, and I am just using that same step where I am disinfecting and spraying the plant with some neem oil spray to get rid of any potential plant pests. And that's basically it. So just go ahead and watch the process again. So earlier in the video, I discussed how I felt like there was two offshoots. I went ahead and just chopped up this offshoot right here from an aglaonema. So it's got 3 leaves and still has quite a bit of root. So that's the first one. And then there's a second offshoot right here. Actually, there's a small tiny one, but I think I'm going to leave that with the mother plant. I'm going to go ahead and chop this up and take a second one right here. So I will get 3 plants for the price of 1, and that's really exciting because that's the thing about aglaonema. They do shoot little babies that you can separate from the mother plant. So after actually taking the cutting, what I will do is actually take some cinnamon powder and pat it on the cut. That will actually be an antibacterial, antifungal way. So that way it will also callus the wound. So that's what I'm going to do, is actually take some cinnamon powder and make sure that I dab it on on the cuts of the plant. So you can see that there are 2 cuts there. And I'm going to go through the whole process of really cleaning the roots as well, making sure I get rid of all of the soil. So at least now you can see that that is another way of propagating Aglaonema. I have 3 Aglaonema from the mother plant, and that's super exciting because I can never get enough Aglaonema. And you can see right here, I am just taking some cinnamon powder and dabbing it on the cut because it'll immediately callus the that area. You don't really want to leave open wounds like that. I mean, some people do that anyway, and they're fine, but I like to just mitigate any potential root rot or any fungus infection. So I like to use cinnamon powder. Cinnamon powder is an antibacterial, a natural one. And you can see that there's still one tiny baby I could have cut right here, but I'm going to go ahead and just make sure to dab cinnamon powder on this Aglaonema Lady Valentine, just to make sure that if it's going to sit in semi-hydro, that it will not have any infections or anything of that nature that could rot it. So super easy. So now you can see how to propagate in Aglaonema as well as me converting the plant. And then I'm going to repeat the steps of just potting it up in a semi-hydro substrate. You can see that I am using a 3-inch self-watering planter for my 2 baby Aglaonema propagations. Super exciting that I'm able to get 3 plants out of it. And so let me know what you think about the video so far, and if you want to see more plant chore videos like this. And plant foldies, you can see that this is another successful conversion of the Aglaonema Lady Valentine. I ended up just potting up the 2 propagations into a 3-inch self-watering planter. I didn't want to just have too many plants, but I also wanted to see if this would develop. The good thing about Leca is once these roots establish, I could separate them further and put them in 2 3-inch planters. But look at how gorgeous this Aglaonema is. And then we're going to go ahead and convert poinsettias. So I did have a situation where I ended up getting some poinsettias for 75% off. Most poinsettias are very thirsty plants. So I figured that I would get some unique poinsettias, and oftentimes poinsettias are really only grown through the holidays during the Christmas season, but I was able to get a couple of interesting ones here. These ones were sourced out from Callaway's Nursery, which is a bunch of nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So again, I am going through the process of removing the soil, and unfortunately, I ended up watering these poinsettias the night before whenever I did the conversion. So it's a little bit more of a challenge for me to get the plants. And the thing about it is, whenever you're converting a plant that has more fine roots, you are expected to lose a couple of those fine roots. So it is normal to kind of downsize and get rid of some of the more fine roots. That is okay as long as the main root system is intact. So you can see that I am just going to go ahead and remove as much of the soil as possible, and then follow the same steps of disinfecting the plant by spraying it down with neem oil, then using water to really spray down the roots and get rid of the soil, and then basically potting them up in the semi-hydro substrate of your choice. In this case, I would use Leca, and then just spraying it down again and using that We the Wild Protect neem oil spray, and that is basically it. But sometimes I will have to use the patting method to just try to make the soil a little bit loose. So it's always better to actually convert your plants when the soil is completely dry, because it's easier for you, or at least for me, to remove the soil from the roots. You want to make sure that you're getting as much of the roots from the soil out. And that's basically it. And you can see this is an orange poinsettia. I really love the colors that I chose today. Let me know in the comment section if you would grow a poinsettia as a long-term house plant. We'll see if I'm able to convert these. I mean, this is just an experiment in the fact that I was able to get these plants for $2.50. That's not a bad price at all. So even if they do make it to plant heaven and they don't make the conversion, that is okay. And that's something I also wanted to say. Not all semi-hydroponic conversions are going to be successful. The plant will take a lot of stress, because you have to think that these roots that you are converting from a soil substrate has to acclimate and actually convert into a semi-hydro substrate, because plants have different types of root systems. Some plants wherever have water roots, where basically the roots are more in tune to being in water. And so whenever you do like a water propagation and you have water roots, it does have an acclimation period where the roots have to move from water roots to soil roots. So it's kind of the same thing where, like, if you look at this has an extensive root system. I'm going to see if these roots will actually acclimate to the Leca and the additional water. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and that is okay. That's why you can't always have 100% stock into the plants that you convert into semi-hydro. But if the plant does convert to semi-hydro successfully, I would just venture out to say that it's just going to make your plant care so much more easier to maintain, versus having to go through each plant and watering the soil. So let me know in the comment section, again, plant foldies, what you think about some of the plants that I am converting, what you think about poinsettias. Any plant commentary you would love. Like I said, again, I appreciate any type of engagement you give me on the comment section. And if you have any questions, success stories, or if you also grow plants in semi-hydro, please leave that in the comment section below. But I'm going to go ahead and continue to show you how I remove the soil and convert these plants to semi-hydro. I did want to insert this clip on how to mix up the nutrient solution I use for my semi-hydroponics. So what I'll do is I'll get a gallon type jug, fill up it with just regular water first, because what you want to do is with each nutrient, you want to make sure that you're adding it and then adding water. You don't want to mix all your nutrients all at once. In this case, I'm going to use micro doses. So like We the Wild Grow Concentrate is one, because this is an organic fertilizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quarter of a tablespoon versus a full tablespoon for per gallon. So that's what I'm going to do. And you'll notice that I'm going to go ahead and rinse my mixing spoon there. And then I'm going to fill it up with some more water right over here, just to make sure that I am not mixing all of the nutrients all at once. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with water, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some more of my nutrients here. All of the nutrient solutions that I'm going to use, you can buy from Amazon. And I'm going to go ahead and use Super Thrive, which is a B vitamin. I'm just going to use a small capful of this right here. This one right here is also to help the plant recover from its initial shock. Whenever you are transplanting plants, or if a plant is dehydrated, you can use Super Thrive. It really does help the plant bounce back. And then once I put the Super Thrive in, I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with some more water. It is very imperative that you're not mixing all of the plant nutrients all at once. And then you can see right here, we have Fox Farm fertilizer. I am using the Grow Big, and it's very important to shake up the liquid fertilizers. So again, I am just going to use a quarter of a tablespoon for this gallon mixture. You can see right there, there you go. I'm going to get rid of it just a little bit more. I would say whenever it comes down to fertilizers, less is more. And what I do is I will actually make a very small amount of nutrient solution. Well, not small amount, but what I mean is I will actually just use these small doses. So instead of using a tablespoon per gallon, I'm only using a quarter of a tablespoon. And then whenever I water or use the nutrient solution, I'll fill up my watering can halfway with the nutrient solution and then further dilute it with water. So it's really more of a micro dose. This is also the nutrient solution. I water my plants in soil substrates. I'm able to water my plants with pretty much plant nutrients every watering because of the micro dosing that I do. I just feel like it doesn't really hurt the plant if you're just giving small doses of fertilizer. Again, fertilizer is best when less is more, and you'll see that I am basically filling up the water again, just in between each nutrient solution. So you can see all of the products here. You can hit the pause button so you can specifically see which Fox Farm fertilizer. So now I'm using the Tiger Bloom Fox fertilizer. This one helps with the plant blooms and just to get it a little bit more resistant to disease. So you can see that I'm using a quarter of a tablespoon and just adding it. And you can see that it's not that hard to add it. And you can see that the water is slightly murky. That's normal because I've already put down that Grow solution by We the Wild. It's made by earthworms and just worm casting. So it's very organic, and a lot of this again is organic fertilizers, which I prefer. Some people want to use more of the synthetic fertilizers, but I just feel like organic fertilizers really help the plant establish. And then this is very important for me to use the Super Thrive Protect Kit. Basically, it's a silica solution which helps with preventing root rot. It makes the roots a little bit more durable. And then for those that actually grow, I'll actually do a full tablespoon of this because I want to make sure that the maximum potential is put in there. It will not burn the roots. It will actually make the plant more resistant to heat, cold weather, and if you're growing plants with high variegation, it actually helps prevent the variegation from crisping up. So lots of benefits from that, and it also has a trace amount of Super Thrive. So if you get the Protect Silica solution from Amazon, you can buy the gallon, which I feel like you'll get more out of it versus getting the small amount. But you can see right here, I've already kind of skipped through the process of filling, watering the poinsettias in, and also just rinsing out the Leca again. You can see how gorgeous these poinsettias are. And the thing about poinsettias is they do require quite a bit of bright light. So I will be growing these under a grow light after the first 24 hours, since I did spray them down with We the Wild neem oil spray protect. And you can see that these have some really unique colors for it. So plant foldies, again, let me know in the comment section if you would grow a poinsettia as a house plant, if you've ever grown poinsettias. And I will see if these plants will actually take to semi-hydro this conversion. I'm hoping they will, because I do find poinsettias gorgeous. They just happen to be very thirsty plants when they are in soil substrates. They will quickly drop their leaves if they are not hydrated long enough. So just make sure that if you are going to grow poinsettias in soil, that you are maintaining that soil and keeping it moist. But now that they're in semi-hydro substrates, it's going to be a lot easier. And the final part of this video, and you haven't seen this, these are the Aglaonema that I purchased from Peta's Planters, a small Dallas plant shop. Please visit Peta's Planters. Follow Peta's Planters on Instagram at Peta's Planters. She has the most rare and uncommon Aglaonema that you will find in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. And I will say that confidently, because there are many plant shops in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but she does source out Aglaonema. And for those that are plant foldies, you already know I talk about Aglaonemas all the time. This one right here is the Aglaonema Pink Emerald. And while I already got one from Green Spaces ID from overseas, I don't mind supporting a small business. I always encourage anybody to shop small, even though I do feature a lot of the big box store plants. I just love Aglaonemas, and you can see that this has a very healthy root system. Again, you want to make sure that you're completely getting as much of the soil off and cleaning the soil off. So you already know I will repeat the same process. But as far as the Aglaonema, super thankful I was able to find them at Peta's Planters. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you're visiting the Dallas area in general, definitely shop there and definitely buy up all the Aglaonema that Peta has, because they are stunning. And you can see this one is a beautiful plant, and this Aglaonema tends to have rounder leaves. And that's the thing about Aglaonema. I feel like they are so underrated because we don't see these uncommon and rare varieties. Like the second one is an Aglaonema Red Mahasadi, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove the soil. So sit back, relax, and if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below. If you made it this far into the video, please, please, please press the thumbs up or like button. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I just remember getting like 300 likes on a big box store plant shopping video, and it ended up getting over 7,000 views, and it continues to get pushed out. So I'm hoping, plant foldies, if you support my cause, if you want to see more plant shopping videos, plant chore videos like this, how-to tutorials, hit that like button. And if you feel like you want to support me on a monetary basis, you can always drop a super sticker or super thanks, which is basically a virtual monetary tip. I would really appreciate that as well if you choose to do so. But again, I'm just going to remove all of the soil from these 4-inch planters. I did leave the soil dry because it makes it so much easier for me to remove the soil substrate from the original plant like this. And this is the final outcome of all of the Aglaonema I got from Peta's Planters. Look at this gorgeous Aglaonema Light of Diamond. And you can see how shiny the leaves are after I use We the Wild Protect Neem Oil Spray. I love it. I am not sponsored by We the Wild, but I really do believe in their products. Now, if you have a local Target, Target does have We the Wild products that you can purchase instead of having to go online. So I would recommend that. You can see that pink dye emerald right there, red Mahasadi, and the pink Barami Aglaonema. These are all gorgeous. And again, whenever you convert plants to semi-hydroponic substrates, make sure you are paying attention to the water reservoir, not letting it dry out completely. Now, some people will let the reservoir dry out completely and then refill it. It really just depends. Like, there isn't a rule of thumb when it comes to that. What I would say is to definitely give these plants a good source of light. Plant nutrients is very important whenever you're growing plants in semi-hydroponics, because that's the only way they're going to get their nutrients. That's the only way you're going to be able to feed the plant and really accelerate its growth. I do find that semi-hydro has really saved my plant collection because I'm not stressed having to water the plant often. So I hope, plant foldies, that this video was relaxing for you, that you've learned something from me, and that you would try growing plants in semi-hydroponics. Please share that in the comment section if you're doing that. Aglaonema are great semi-hydroponic substrate plants, as well as plants like Alocasia and any other plants that require a little bit more water. Now, Aglaonema grow perfectly fine in soil, but I just wanted to do that. So if you enjoyed this video, press the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as subscribing to Grow Folds with all the notification bell on. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.